And we're gonna start with a hollow fly. This is a really good pattern. The pattern is made from bucktail, and it has amazing action in the water, pushes a lot of water, bass, pike, maybe even saltwater, good saltwater fly as well. So we'll do one of those, and then these ones are not for me. I'm starting on some flies to give away this summer to family and friends. So these, we have to make these ones nice. Can't rush them. These are gift flies. We'll get started here. Got a little seasonal allergy going, so I apologize if I'm sniffling. I like to do my we're doing a bulkhead, not a hollow. I like to do my bulkheads midpoint rather than toward the back, because the material builds up, and it's just over the years I've found you don't need to tie all the way back, so I tie like half a fly. However, a little bit of weight is nice on some patterns. Some patterns can be unweighted. Some patterns should have a little bit of weight toward the back. So we'll go ahead and we'll add some lead-free round wire to the back section of this fly. Bunch that wire together. Done here. Some people put the lead-free round wire in a bobbin and tie it in that way, but I don't have that many bobbins. I'm gonna go over it with the thread. And I'm gonna put, there's a little tag sticking up. I'm gonna kind of lock it in the back here. And then advance my thread, and we'll start tying right here, and we'll put just a drop of glue just to make sure it's in there secure. My super glue nozzle is already getting messed up. We'll push that around. Okay. We'll do this one. Chartreuse, and then maybe a little bit of red. Yeah, we'll try to play with the colors. I'm not dead set. For the tail section, so the bucktail has longer hairs toward the base of it and then shorter hairs toward the tip. We want some of the longer, straighter hairs, but as we tie, we'll transition to these shorter hairs. I like flies with the shorter hairs, to be honest. The longer ones don't have the best action. And we're doing one bunch for the tail. Generally, sparser is better, but we'll do a little heavier bunch right here. You want to clean it up, but the tips are the important part. So eyeball it and then gently tease out the longs, bring them back. Doesn't have to be perfectly even, but there's some shorts. So now I'm gonna hold the tips and then I'm gonna pull the shorts. Those are pretty short, so we're not gonna use those or discard those. But that looks good. And now I'm gonna clean up the butts. Tie it in, one loose wrap, two loose wraps. Then I'm gonna smush it with my thumb around the shank and the wire, so there's full coverage. And then I'm gonna start tying it in. I'm not gonna crank down yet. Now I'm starting to get the tension a little bit more, but I don't want it to flare. So if I crank down right now, the tail will flare. I don't want that. So I want it straight. So there's tension, but not cranking down. So now it's lying flat back, which is nice. In terms of the flash, I've been doing less is more. So for this one, I'm just going to do one strip of we'll use this pearl flashaboo. We'll do 2 on each side. And less is more. I'm going to make the flash a little bit longer than the tail, just to give it a little bit extra body. And then I'm going to clip tied in on the other side as well. Clip that out and we'll secure it down, and I'm going to add just a touch. That's more than a touch. Take some of that out. And this is just for durability, because these are going in someone else's box. I want it to last a long time. All right, we'll do another bunch of chartreuse, but this time we're gonna go up the bucktail. So we'll do some mid hairs, and then we're gonna, how do I do this? No, we don't reverse tie. Yeah, we tie in normally, but we start. Yeah, okay, I got it. This is a bulkhead. Decent amount. Kind of measure it out. Let's clean out the butts. Let's manage the tips. And then we'll tie it in. about 1/2 inch shorter than the longest point of the tail. So we would create a taper. You're gonna have some overhang, which is what we want. Let's check to see if that's dry. Yeah. So 1 loose, 2 loose, same thing, smush it. And now this one we want to crank because we want these butts to incorporate into the shape of the fly. These butts will create the shape of the head. So let's crank. Crank, crank. And then we'll preen back. We'll advance our thread. We'll make a little thread dam. Okay, so now this collar's kind of poofing out, which is good. That's what we want. But we don't want all of them poofing uniform, so you're gonna want to take some of them down. And it depends on how much poof you want. But I'm gonna tie in another bunch of bucktail. And the material builds up real fast. That looks about good. And we'll start building up here. You could do another section flash if you wanted to. Which, let's do that. Maybe now just only one. Oh, let's do gold. We'll do a piece of gold, 1 piece of gold. 1 piece of gold. That thread is slipping down, which is not what we want. We don't want it to build up like that. This is a wax thread, so it's a little bit tricky and it's kind of coming undone. So I'm going to spin it up a bit to tighten it up. It'll grip better that way. And I'm going to add another little drop. And that was a good drop. Okay. Let's knock down that good. How are we looking? Looking good. All right, let's start to do color variation. Maybe a darker green. That doesn't look good. Maybe got a wee bit of yellow. That looks decent. I wish I had more gray. I don't have much. I might have enough to do this fly. Yeah, I think. Let's see what the red looks like. That's a bit gaudy. I think mixing the darker green on top with that gray is gonna be the way to go here. But instead of using the brighter, I'm gonna try to use this darker olive. But I need to find hairs that are long enough. We'll put some bright. Do a little bit of olive, a little bit of bright. We have that leftover chartreuse, the butts we pulled out. A little bit of gray. So this will be our, these are a color combo right here. I'm gonna just tease them together. Try to mix the colors. That's decent mix. This section can be almost the same length, slightly shorter than the last section we put in. Maybe about there. So we'll clean up the butts. You want to leave some to build the bulk. And then we'll tie it in. Oh, we're losing some. That's okay. Let's spin our thread to get a nice cord. And then, yeah, one loose, two loose. Smush. Check the coverage. And crank her down. Let's advance the thread. Yeah. So we've got a nice shape here, but finishing you could finish the fly with just the butt on the head, but it looks a little bit incomplete. So we're gonna have to figure, you could do like a dubbing blend or flash blend to finish the head, or if you're a purist, you're gonna stick with the bucktail, which will try to be pure. That's good. There's just a little bit of space to tie. I like a red throat. I'm gonna get a few reds, and then we'll add those to the bottom. And we're gonna, let's get the tips managed. We're gonna reverse tie this one in, and then we're gonna cheat with super glue to finish the head. And get the bottom. Get that in. I'm just holding it in place for now. We'll do a little bit of the yellow, that pale yellow looked kind of good. So we'll do a little bit of that pale yellow. Manage the tippers. Trim the butts. And reverse tie in. One on top here. Okay, too loose. I want to keep the color separate, but I want to work the material around. So we're gonna smush ever so gently. Oh man, what am I doing here? This yellow's working around too much. Okay. Yeah, there we go. I think that's the best I can do. So I'm cranking. I'm flaring. I guess you could, when you're flaring, you could tease it out. Tease them around, rather. And I'm holding. Let's advance the thread. I got a stray. I don't think I can save it, so I'm just going to try to yank it out. I like everything except the butts of the yellow made this bunch, which is fine, but I just don't like how it looks. I'm going to try to knock it out. Thin it out just a bit. That's good. Let's do a couple more wraps and then we'll tie off, and then we'll finish the fly. The tab eyes, like the little tinfoil eyes, would be the best for this, but I don't like to use those for some reason. There's no other use for the tab eyes. I don't use them for anything else, so I usually don't buy them. So we're gonna try to finish this with just regular eyes, cheapo eyes, and some super glue, but we'll try to maintain the shape of the head, which is important. Okay. Get a good spread. I'm just teasing out the red, and then I'm gonna push it back. And some of the butts are sticking up, so I'm gonna knock those out. As best I can. And I'm gonna work just, I'm not gonna try to get everything at once. I'm gonna do sides. A bigger eye, an oversized eye will help secure the shape. So we'll use some bigger balls. Get our toothpick. We'll just do one side at a time. I don't want it to lie flat. I want it to keep the shape. And then placing the eye, it's gonna have to sit right near the eye of the hook, which some people might not like. But I want it to sit right at an angle. And I'm not even gonna press it in. Just let it sit there. And then for the other side, right on the eye. Place our eyeball, gently press. And those are pretty solid. Let's work on the belly. And put the glue on the pick first. And then I'm gonna just roll it in. Roll it in. I want it to shape, but I don't want it solid. And I need to roll some more in. One thing about the bucktail flies is they fish better over time. Fresh out of the vise, they look a little bit lame. But over the years, they mature nicely. The shape, the head's a little bit sparse, but that's okay. My eyeballs are not even. Just let that sit there. It's a little bit poofy. around a wire so I can shape it better. Gently grabbing it. See where it needs to be hit. Knock off some of these butts strategically. That might be about as good as we can get it. They'll flatten out over time. Some people will freeze them, soak it in water and then freeze it, and it'll get the shape. But like one or two poking out is fine with me, because in the water they'll lie flat. But this is my version of a bulkhead. OG streamer. Yeah. Not perfect. The eyes, oh, it's not terrible. It was a little cockeyed, like, but the face, this is the focus. The face got, some buildup. What it does is in the water, it can move, change directions and push the water. Rather, a slimmer profile streamer just kind of goes straight. This guy is more erratic. And no two flies ever turns out the same. Okay. Enough. What are we doing now? Let's check the time. Check the time. Oh, I have this dyed yellow mallard, and I love a mustardy caddis pupa. I don't know if they are actually mustardy colored, but a mustardy caddis pupa in my mind. Caddis larva, I should say, is a go-to fly in my box. I rarely do hopper, dropper fishing, dry dropper fishing, but if I do, it's generally a oversized caddis larva, not bead head, but weighted with wire, and then mustardy yellow. What I got confidence in. Okay, here's a good hook. Let's use that barred mallard. Crack. So I like the yellow body, but I like the prominent black head. And I don't tie a lot with black thread, but for this one I like the black thread. because I like a prominent black head on the caddis larva. Let's do a little bit of weight. A little bit of weight on it. Not all the way to the eye, just right behind the eye. To get our thread started. About there. Let's hit this. And let's figure out the body material. So an olive and a pale yellow. But I can't seem to find the pale yellow. Oh, here it is. Okay. So we'll do the olive, the pale yellow, a little bit of natural dark. So this is these are synthetic. This is natural. I can never find the perfect color. So we'll do a little pale yellow. We'll do a little bit of olive. Then we'll do a little bit of natural. And finish it off. Not a lot in here. I think yeah, just a pinch of gold. All right, we'll blend this up. Too much. Need more olive. Maybe it's okay. Okay. So our dubbing's blended. I'm gonna split you could rope it, but I don't want to rope it and I don't want to rib it. I want the material loose. And I think over time, in my experience, it fishes better over time. So I split my thread. I'm not getting a very good split here. I'm gonna try to get to a different section of thread. Let it unwind a bit. I'll try to split. And that's enough. And then we'll insert light to mount. We can move that around. It might not be enough, but so a little bit hanging out the back is what I like. I'm gonna tease this out a bit. But the long fibers are good, so I don't want to rip them, but I don't want them I don't want the buildup to be too heavy. Okay, tease them out. I am gonna have to cut that flash, which is fine. Okay, let's wrap body. Wrap the body. Oh, just enough. Yeah. So like swooping back like that is what I like. Not that much. About that, yeah. Too much swoop. Okay, and let's figure out what we're gonna do with these legs. They can stay long, but they shouldn't be so dense. The best would be just two groups on each side. That would be the best. So I hate to cut them off this, but we're gonna cut them. So we'll do one group here, pretty long, slightly shorter than the body. And then we'll do another group on the other side. Maybe this isn't a caddis larva, maybe this is just a wet fly. I always thought it was a caddis larva. And I got this pattern. This is a good story. I got this pattern from a fly I found on the river. Some guy hung a fly in the tree. It looked like this, and that's how I got the idea. I still have it. I still fish it. It's still a winner. Now we will. You could do with the build up with the thread. I'm just gonna add a touch of rabbit, just a touch. That's more than a touch. Loose dubbing rope, and very loose. I'm gonna dub back toward the legs, slightly up toward the head, and then the top had no dubbing, so just like that. And we'll go ahead and finish it off. A better spread of the legs would be better, but whatever. And over time, that black dubbing will loosen up and kind of integrate into the body. It's got that mustardy color. I don't know about the gold flash, if that adds anything, but this is a fly, like when it's wet, it looks 1,000 times better. That's a good pattern. All right, so now we're done with that. What next? And this is an all year. You do generally you don't fish bigger flies in the winter, but I fish this one all year round. It's one of my faves. One of my faves. What were we gonna do next? Oh, a big, like a stonefly type thing or a stimulator. I'm checking on our deceiver to see how it ended up. Not bad. The eye placement was not good. But not terrible. Hook. Big hook, small hook. Yeah, maybe we'll do more of an October caddis size. For something this size, the hacklebutt. Let's find a good hacklebutt. Yeah, this is a good hacklebutt. So we'll use the hacklebutt for the body, like a quill body. Let's trim it off. Then we're gonna hit it. But we gotta be careful. Because last time we scorched it. Hit it with the lighter. just learned you can adjust the flame length of the I was doing it with like a super big flame. You can adjust the flame length of the lighter, which is I want to get closer to the tip, but I don't want to burn the stem. So maybe we'll just stop while we're ahead. But I do need to soak it. Put it in a cup of water and let it sit for a minute. Let it soak. While it's soaking, maybe we can do something else. Oh, I had some dumbbell eyes that I wanted to use, but maybe that'll be for tomorrow. What else? A nymph. A little we'll do a little bead head. Little bead head. What size is this? It's too big. Do a little pink, 2.5 pink. Everybody should have a pheasant tail in their box. Everybody should have a pink bead head pheasant tail in their box. The ultimate. Okay. We're going to tie this one up real simple. Little bit of thread buildup toward the bead and the thorax, just to get a slight taper. And then little pheasant tail. Do this one. Darker, we need darker pheasant tail. This is a good color. Real, like a goldeny is perfect. I don't know where I got this one, but I'm glad I got it. This side is, these fibers are longer. I guess they're the same size. Huh. In my head that those other ones were. Then we'll do 4, 3, 4, however many this is. 5, too much. 3. Tips are a bit wonky, but maybe that'll add to the secret attracting. Tips are super wonky. Wire. Do a red wire. Ooh, we had black, maybe black wire would have been better. Yeah, black wire. I'd like to tie all my materials starting from the bead back. And you don't have to, but I just think it makes it look a little bit more uniform. And then I'm not going to tie the wire all the way back. I'm going to leave a little bit of gap. In fact, I should tie the pheasant tail in first before I tie in the wire. What the heck am I doing? 4. 3 pieces again. I'm going to tie these in tip first. And I'm not going to use the tips as legs. I'm going to chop those off. We lost one. Black wire. It pulled out. That's good. Do 1 wrap behind the wire. Maybe 2 wraps behind the wire. In front of the wire. Getting toward the end here. That's about as far as we go. And then counter wrap, so the other direction. I see too many people doing the same direction as the pheasant wraps. Yeah, whatever floats your boat. I'm not criticizing. Just give that wire a tug to make it tight. That tail. The tail's growing on me. All right. That wire nub is sticking up. We'll do peacock hurl, and then we'll do a little bit of CDC. This peacock hurl looks like it's died or something. I was just sitting on my desk. It does not look like normal peacock hurl. That's good. I'm gonna give it a tug to try to sink it down toward the base of the bead, not too tight, but I don't want that thread buildup between the thorax and the bead, so I'm gonna just start sinking it down right now. A little bit is unavoidable, and that's just aesthetic. It doesn't matter. This is a nice. I think this is like a dun something. It's got like a pinkish hue, but I like this for the legs. So we'll clip one side and not too much, maybe just that much. Clip and trim. Save that feather. Let's split our thread. This is not a great thread to split, but yeah, we got a split. There's some trash on my CDC. Oh, almost lost the split. Insert. I want enough CDC for like one wrap. That's what I was thinking. This is a little bit too much. Let's preen that CDC. And that's one wrap. We're gonna, and before I start building the head, I want to let the thread, since we spun up the thread, I want to let it unwrap. Spinning it weakens the thread, so if we're cranking, it'll snap. I didn't do a good job of distributing the CDC into the thread, so I'm left with these little butts. Not ideal. And then it's too heavy on the top here. Must have been 1.5 wraps. Okay. Lock 1, 2. We'll get some buildup with our whip finish. Where's my whip finisher? That's 1/3 turn, and maybe we stop there. I'm cinching it down. Yeah, maybe we stop there. And then we can put a drop of super glue or something. Or maybe not. The legs should be long like that is good, but long like this is not good. Or it's not bad, it's just uncouth. But about like that. And that will catch you a nice trout. A little bit heavy up top here. pluck out a couple of them. Yeah, that's nice. So CDC, pheasant tail, pink bead, nymph. Okay, let's go ahead and check on our stem. That's been soaking in the water. Oh yeah, real nice. If you don't soak the stem, it'll split. When you tie it in, it'll split. So where's it? We had a hook. What do we do with the hook? Here it is. And we're just gonna make a hair wing caddis pattern. Or, yeah, I guess it's a caddis or small stonefly, or I don't know. Summer pattern. I'm gonna tie it in tip first. We have plenty, so I can sacrifice some toward the top. If the stem is short, then you'd have to you'd tie in down here to utilize that stem. But I think we'll have plenty. So we'll tie it in about there. Oh, maybe I'll eat my words. Maybe we don't have enough. That would be awful. We'll start wrapping the stem. But the stem usually goes a long way. And the stem is hollow, but I don't think that adds any flotation benefit. But yeah, stem goes a long way. Since we didn't singe the whole thing, it's got little barbs left on it, and it kind of adds a buggy quality. I'm now taking out the buggy quality. In my mind, it looks pretty cool. We need this sitting flat because this will be our tie-in point for our hair. We don't want that build up there. Okay. Hair. Golden hairs. Brown hairs. These hairs are good, but they're very fine, and they don't float well. They look nice, but they don't float well, so we're not going to use these hairs. We need floaty hairs. Here's some floaty hairs. These hairs have more hollow stems. Both are deer, but these hairs will float better. I like the color of the other one. I think this one is just a little bit too dark. So we'll do this one. And then I'm gonna cut out more than I need. We're gonna sacrifice some of it. Usually less is better, but in this case, I'm gonna cut out more than I need. And I think this will be the last one for today. Clean out the butts, a lot of mess there. Hit it with the toothbrush. stack it. I just use a plastic tube to stack. And I just stack it against my palm. And the result is, oh my God, what the heck? We gotta do it again. I'm gonna knock off some of this. Make it more manageable. Okay, there's some messy furs in there. Measure. I didn't do a good job of cleaning out the under fur. It's slightly longer than the body. There's going to be a lot of flare here, and the flare is unnecessary, so I'm going to trim out some of those butts, make it more manageable. And then before I tie in, I'm just going to twist my thread out just a bit. And I'm going to do one wrap, but it's not going to be loose, it's going to be tight. Second wrap, even tighter. Third wrap, tight. Fourth wrap, tight. And let her rip. Okay. I'm going to advance the thread to the eye just to place it. I'm going to clean up these butts. Without cutting my thread. Now I'm going to start taking out some of the extra wing that we don't need. So just a little bit more of the wing, sides, bottom. There's one hair, one random hair that somehow is inverted, which you definitely could leave in. Oh, we messed it up even more. Okay. We crowded the hook eye a bit for this. But I think we'll be okay. We're gonna advance our thread. Let's hackle. We have a dun colored hackle, a grizzly colored hackle. Let's try the dun. Yeah, the dun was good. I'm not portraying anything in particular here. We're just making a dry fly. A big dry fly, that's all we're doing. Tie in our hackle. And then we're going to need to take down that wing on the sides a bit more. We'll do a little bit of olive. A little bit of olive. Dub in. Try to make it tight. One dub behind the hackle, and then I like to dub over the wing if you can, just a little bit. Yeah, like that. We need more dubbing. Doesn't have to be perfect. A little better coverage. One wrap. Two wraps. Three wraps. Trap the hackle. Tension. Trim. And finish. Now we clean up the swing here. Without cutting our hackle. I'm going to take it out. There's one weird hair. I see a couple weird hairs. The focus is on the profile. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if that shows up. But I want to clear out the hair from just a little bit, not all. So I'm just like one or two hairs from the bottom. And that is all she wrote. That'll catch a trout. All right, finished. We did our little big dry, which is not that big of a dry. And then we did let me flip this. Let me flip this around here. Here's what we tied. We tied our bulkhead, which is quite bulky, but it'll thin out as time goes by. And then we did our pink bead head CDC pheasant tail, which turned out nice. The caddis larva, which it's got like a stringy body, flowy, turned out nice. And then we did a bigger kind of caddis pattern, which also turned out okay. So that's all she wrote, and I'm off to play flag football. Do a parachute. Do a parachute Adams? No way, man, no way. Maybe someday. I don't fish them, so I don't really tie them. And I also don't fish the elk hair caddis much. But that's essentially an elk hair caddis. The elk hair caddis has a palmered body and a hair wing. But I like the hackle toward the head, and then the stem for the body. All right. Bye-bye.